I'm going to make a bold guess right now. My guess is that right now you are pouring in a ton of hard work into your Etsy print-on-demand business, but you are struggling to see results. Now, if this is you, you are not alone in this process. There are so many sellers who are struggling to find success on the platform, not due to lack of effort, but due to the fact that they are focusing in all of the wrong areas. Now, I want to ask you a very important question. How long does it take you to make a design for a print-on-demand product that has an immense amount of competition, that is far over leveraged, that tens of thousands of sellers are already selling? How long does it take you to make a design for one of those products? And then I want you to ask yourself a second question. How long does it take you to make a design for a product type that is under leveraged, that maybe only a few hundred sellers have access to? Now, if you ask yourself that question, on both sides of the spectrum, the designing time takes about the same amount of time. Yet, seller after seller goes after these super oversaturated, overblown product types over and over and over again. Now, if you want to keep doing that, go ahead. It seems like it's working well. But for the sellers who are deciding, hey, maybe I shouldn't just do what everyone's done for the last decade of time, and maybe I should focus somewhere slightly different, for those sellers, they are seeing disproportionate results. For example, we just launched the 40-ounce Stanley style tumbler to our members inside of Inner Circle Prints. And after just 1 week of this product type being live, we have sellers that are generating over 20 sales a day with this one strategic product. Now, this is the power of spending all of your time and your effort and your output on untapped POD products versus spending that same amount of time and the same amount of effort on these oversaturated, overblown product types from mainstream print providers. So in this video, I'm going to show you 5 best-selling designs that you can launch for this untapped POD product right away and start generating sales for your business immediately. I'm going to cut through all of the fluff and the nonsense, and we're going to get straight to the value so that you can take action and change the trajectory of your business forever. All right, so design number 1 for this untapped POD product, we have the bride design. Now, with the bride design they have set up here, this is very value driven. We have the birth flower, we have the name, and we have the date. Now, one quick thing I want to kind of outline with this design is they've done a really good job by combining multiple important aspects to this design. So number 1, they have a line art style design for the birth flower. That is a very popular style for this product type specifically. Then you have the script style font below. I think the script style font is a great one to go with. It really matches the line art and it brings value, especially for the wedding season. And then you have the date being obviously when they got married. So there's a lot of value. You have the recipient's birth flower, the recipient's name, and then the date getting married. So the value is definitely there. However, there's one thing you could do with this design right here to do even better and to really pop off the page. And that's by using a parallel market example here. And we have the birth flower sipper glass. Now with this one, you can see the seller has a script style font. They have a colored birth flower, which really pops off and would pop out even more on this white print area for the white tumbler. So I think this is a really good play to go with. Same style setup where you have the birth flower itself, you have the name, and you have the date, but you can really pop off the page. And this design, by the way, on this item here, it's sold an estimated 6,722 times. So there's a lot of data behind this one to say this is a really hot seller. So if you bring this same exact artwork, which you can buy on Creative Fabrica, you can buy it on Etsy, and you bring it over to the Tumbler design over here for the bride, you can absolutely crush it. And by the way, this seller is selling this item right now for $32. So this is one easy way that you can create a best-selling design for this untapped POD product. All right, so design number 2 that I'd be launching right now for this untapped POD product is the nurse design on the 40-ounce tumbler. Now, this specific tumbler right here is selling for about $38 right now on Etsy. So they're maintaining really good margins. And while this design is really well set up with the stethoscope coming into the heart, into the floral, and then, of course, the personalized name for value there, I think you could actually do one thing to make this even better, which is a big, strong call out of the nurse's title. So whether they're an RN, a CNA, an LPN, whatever their title is, I would want to call it out like this seller has done in this parallel market for a different style tumbler. So the big, bold RN in the top right. I think that that is something that is going to really help impact your click-through on the front end, so actually getting clicks in search, and then second, getting conversion because you're adding that extra layer of value in a really simple way. So in this scenario, you could offer, any nurse title you want on the item itself, which will add in, again, that little extra layer of value. Now, the second thing that this seller is doing right here, which, by the way, this item's crushing it. It's sold an estimated 2,000 times on Etsy, is they've also incorporated some color. So they have the, black for the name, and they have the black on the registered portion of the registered nurse side of the graphic. But with that being said, they also have the color to help contrast off of it. So I think if you pull in color into this design as well as the nurse title, you can easily pop off the page and create a best-selling product for Nurse Appreciation Week, which is coming up here in a few weeks from now. So get on this one quick, guys. Nurse Appreciation absolutely explodes for this product type, and there's some easy things you can do to make this design even better and really pop off the page, get those clicks, get those sales, and become a best-selling listing on Etsy. All right, so real quick, before we get into the next 3 best-selling designs you can launch for this untapped POD product, you're going to need access to fulfillment. So through my fulfillment company, Inner Circle Prints, we give you this item for an unmatched price point from any other print provider in the space. So you're looking at $11.99 for the product plus design printed and $8.99 for shipping. So you're looking at $20.98 out the door, which is literally unmatched. The closest print provider in the space, which is on Printify, and even with Printify Premium, when you're paying that monthly fee for the discounted rate, you're getting this item for about $32 after shipping, which is just like not going to work. You're not going to be able to price your product effectively to sell at scale, which is why this product type has remained untapped up until now. So if you can jump on this now, you're going to be able to see a huge uptick in sales in your business due to the fact that the only competition you have for this item are in-house Etsy sellers. It means that this product type is massively under-optimized and there is so much room for growth, which is why, again, we just launched this product 1 week ago to our sellers, and we have sellers that are already selling over 20 units a day with just a handful of listings. So if you haven't already, get your Inner Circle Prints account created now. The link is in the description below. You can start a 7-day free trial and start accessing this product along with all of our other strategic product types, which separates yourself from the average POD seller on Etsy. All right, so design number 3 for this untapped POD product is one that I am so excited about because I feel like this one's going to crush it for some people. So we have the setup for Mama's Garden. So this is a mom tumbler, specifically one that's going to sell really well for Mother's Day. So something that's upcoming in a handful of weeks when sales just go through the roof. Now with this design right here, I don't think you need to make many changes, but I have one big piece of insight that's going to really help you succeed with this style design for Mother's Day. So in this case, we have Mama's Garden up top. We have the birth flowers of the kids below. So in this case, it's showing 4 kids. So the buyer can choose, the number of kids. They can put their names in, and they can choose their birth flower as well. So there's a lot of value, and the font selection, the style, everything is on point for this, which is why it sold an estimated 6,319 times on Etsy for a very, very healthy price point. So with that being said, my number one piece to pull from this is the fact that you can do this for Mama, you can do it for Mom, you can do it for Grandma, you can do it for Nana, for Nona, for Mimi, for Mima, for Gigi. You can have it for so many different moms and grandmas where you can just interchange mama for those specific verified people. One thing we give you access to inside of Inner Circle Prints is something called the Verified People Cheat Sheet, where I give you a list of all of the main people for big events like Mother's Day, where you want to make a product type for those individuals because search volume goes through the roof. And in this case, all these moms and grandmas and relative names are just popping off the charts. And this is a prime example of what I call a template design, where you can take this design and you can duplicate it over multiple times for all of these individual people and see sales crank across the board for every single one of those designs. All right, so design number 4 for this untapped POD product, we have the teacher design. Now, this one's also got me dancing in my chair. There is so much potential for teacher appreciation, which is just a few weeks away, and sales absolutely crank the first week of May. So with this item right here, they're selling it right now for $25 for the product and $15 for shipping. So that $40 price point is yielding some really, really healthy margins. So with that being said, one way you can make this design even better is by offering variations. So if you look at these other, best-selling style tumblers on Etsy, you have, it takes a big heart to teach little minds. You have this one where you have the Crayola crayon look with the personalized name in the middle. And then you have this listing over here actually showing you where you have like the Crayola crayon, you got the apple, you have the glitter pencil. So there's some different examples of what you can see, like utilizing either these as variations or making like a full-on variation listing like this. I think you can really, really bring the value necessary. Now, if you do make a template design, what I recommend doing is keeping the personalization the same. So you'd have like Miss Andrews in this case, but you'd be swapping out the actual main core artwork for variation 1, 2, 3, 4, however many variations you have. And by having the variations alone, you allow a buyer to shop on your listing, which is going to increase your conversion rate and really help you continue to drive rank for this product during a time when sales go off the charts and you can sell literally over 100 units a day with just one listing. All right, so product number 5 for this untapped POD product is a grandma tumbler. Now you can see this product right here is absolutely crushing it. We have an estimated 733 sales. Now this specific listing right here has Grammy, Nana, and Mimi as kind of a call out in search, basically showing buyers that they have some different options. Now that's something that I know as a seller, but I don't think it always works that great for a buyer. So the first fix I would do on this specific design is I'd want the call out of my keywords to be a little bit more correlated. So if it's a grandma tumbler, I want to have grandma as a call out on the actual item itself. And then for the Grammy and the Nana and the Mimi, I'm going to make separate listings for those. So two things are going to happen there. Number one is I'm going to increase relevancy. All of the terms in my title and all the terms in my tag are going to directly correlate to my front photo with that setup. Number two is I'm going to get way more search volume covered with this approach. So if I have a separate listing for Grammy and a separate listing for Mimi and a separate listing for Nana, I can get a lot more phrase exact terms covered in my title and in my tags for this specific recipient, which means I'm going to be able to drive rank for like Nana Cup, or maybe it's gift for Nana, or Nana Mother's Day, where I wouldn't have otherwise been able to do that when I'm trying to stuff that all into one listing. So become more relevant, give yourself a better chance for click through, and then get a lot more reach by, again, separating out these listings. And then for the design itself here, while I do believe this is a great design that this seller has made, they have, a great script style font going into a heart glyph, which is a huge design attribute for this product type. They also have the hearts that separate out the names, which is a really good touch to make this even better for conversion. However, the first thing I would address is scale. If you look at the Grammy design over there, if you're just scrolling through search as a buyer, you're going to have no idea that that's actually names underneath there. They're almost microscopic. So the first thing I would do is I would blow up the names a little bit, even if you have to limit it to maybe like just 3 names shown like the Nana Tumbler. I would definitely want to make those a little bit bigger and easier to see in search. The second thing would be, even with the names being a little bit bigger, like on the Nana Tumbler, you can see the font they chose almost looks like Times Roman numeral. It's like a very basic type style font. So I would want to choose a slightly different font with a little bit of a thicker line on it. So I'd want it to be a little bit more bold and able to be visible on the Tumbler itself. Now, one other thing you could do is you could add a nice touch of floral into all of that empty space below the names to really make your design much bigger, much bolder, and to pop off the page. So obviously, be selective if you are going to go the floral route. You want to find something that's going to match the design, but with all those things together, with a more bold style font below, with a floral piece to fill in all that blank space, I think you could really pop off the page and get some really good sales for this item right here.